All right, traders, happy Wednesday to you. Welcome back to the live trading room. Hope you guys are having a great day. This is a great morning for me. Team USA got the victory yesterday. We are moving on to the round of 16. Give me a second. Let me get my streaming thing is being weird. That way I can get YouTube and TradingView in the mix. There we go. Yeah, I can tell you what, Orsi, I've aged probably about 50 years as 9 minutes of stoppage time came on the clock, and a ball trickled through our keeper's legs and almost went in the goal. Man, it reminds me of when I used to sit and watch trades. I was trying to explain the feeling to like my wife, and I was like, this is the same feeling I used to get when I would just sit and watch trades. Meaning, like a trade a trade would be in progress, and I just sit there, watch the market tick up and down and up and down, and like this nervousness of like every single candle going up or down would kill me, and I did not like that feeling. But we did it. Obviously, we scored the goal, which is very, very rare for our team. But it was nice. The hometown kid, Kristen Pulisic from Pennsylvania, where I'm located. Um, we will play the Netherlands, which I'm very excited about. The key was if we can get past the first round group stage, um, we have the easier route. Not that I think we're necessarily good enough to make it all the way, but we don't have to really play any powerhouses. Like we avoid, we would have the Netherlands next. I think we'd have like the winner of like Poland and someone else, most likely. It depends on the rest of the groups finish up. But I feel like we would avoid, if I remember correctly, we would avoid like your Brazils, your Argentinas, your France. They're on a different part. So I'm excited about that, but we shall see. Anyway, talking about excitement, exciting day in the market. If you are a fundamental trader, because we've got some boom, high impact news events coming out. The biggest of which is going to be our Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking. That's going to happen at, I believe it's 2 o'clock. I think this calendar is wrong. I'm wanting to say 1:30. Usually he speaks at 2, but I could be wrong. Let me go with Old Forex Factory. No, it's right. Yeah, 1:30. Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaks. And we've got some high impact news events coming out before that. We've got our normal Thursday prior to non-farm payroll, ADP non-farm employment change. We've got a GDP release coming out today as well. We got some JOLTS jobs opening as well. So again, we haven't talked about this in a while, but the biggest thing in the markets right now is, we're waiting for what's being called the pivot, right? The change in monetary policy, when we're going to get to the peak of the cliff and start going in the opposite direction. And so far, Powell has kind of poo-pooed any types of hopes of that pivot happening. He's stuck to his guns. However, as data comes out and all of the data continues to point in a very general direction, it's only so long that he can kind of keep his same stance. So the market is waiting for that. So we'll see what happens. So typically when that happens, we get slower days in the market. No one, again, with any high impact news events. And that's why this is going to be an interesting week, because we have more tomorrow and more Friday. With any high impact news events coming out, the market doesn't really want to get its fingers dirty before it happens. It kind of wants to wait and see and then react. So I expect a slower day in the market, and we're seeing that across the board. But like yesterday, we may be able to see some lower time frame opportunities. I apologize real quick. I'm going to try and load it up on YouTube. I don't have my chat up. So if you guys are talking, I can't see you. I apologize, but I'll try to load it up on a different screen here. But today we're going to take a look at the dollar Aussie Canada. This is a trade that I am currently involved in. As soon as I get my YouTube thing up so I can see if there's any comments, that way I don't miss them, I'll let you know. But I got involved this morning as I woke on a double top, which you're going to see as we go down to a lower time frame. Oh, thank you. I got a congrats on my anniversary. I appreciate it, right? Lots of years. Lucky man. The one person that stood by me when I told her, hey, I want to be a trader. She's like, I don't know what that is, but I support you. I'm like, yes, thank you. Everyone else kind of laughed in my face when I told them my dream, unfortunately. But That's okay. That type of stuff motivates me more than it discourages me. I'm a competitor, so like when people tell me I can't do something, I just want to do it more. So that's good. Thing says, what are red flags? Red flags referring to what? I'm a little late to the chat, but type that in and I'll go back and answer it. But so real quick, Canada, we saw our movement yesterday. Cody, I did go back and look at it. It was the oil news, which was related to China COVID stuff. So putting all the pieces of fundamental analysis together. And we got a nice spike in Canadian pairs, or I guess a weakness in Canadian pairs yesterday. And then we came back to earth a little bit. And in this specific example, right, look left, structure leaves clues. We always want to start on our higher time frame, in my opinion, to get a lay of the land. We want to ask ourselves the question, right, of the I process, IPDE, identify, predict, decide, execute. Identify what has price done and where has price gone. So if I were to ask you these two questions, and hint, these are two questions that you should be asking yourself, right? You can even have like a little checklist that goes to the process. John, dear John, what has price done? Dear John, where is price at? What would you guys say? And red flags, or the high impact news events today are really going to be the ADP non-farm. I don't think GDP is going to be as exciting as many people think, but you never know. The biggest one is our Fed Chair Powell speaking. That's going to have the most important impact, but the two news events prior to that are probably going to affect how he speaks. I don't know if he's doing a Q&A. If he's not doing a Q&A, I would expect much less volatility. If he is doing a Q&A, that's when you get a little bit more. But I don't think we are, but we'll see. But yeah, so going back to the question, IPDE process, right? Identify, where is price trading at? What have we recently done? I drew out a big yellow line to help you out, right? Look left, structure leaves clues, right? We've come into a previous level of structure resistance. Have we violated that structure resistance? No, we've held. We've held and actually got rejected. And then currently today, which is very early in the day, we are putting in, excuse me, an Orsi inside bar. There we go. I had to get the voice ready for that one. A nice inside bar, which is a sign of consolidation. So the market's taking a breather. It's having a little think about what we want to do at this level. Bigger picture, we could also see the slowing of momentum just in our general trend, right? High slope, strong directional move up, still moving upward, but with lots more ebbs and flows, right? So we have a few more clues. We have some slowing momentum going into this previous level of structure. Anything else you guys notice at this level? How about if I were to maybe drag this a little bit? What do we have hiding in here? Look right. We may have more. I may have a 127. I didn't even look at this morning. To add to our CTS. Combined technical scoring system. Oh, right on there. Yep. A psychological number, even handle number. So 91 even. Again, we spoke about this yesterday. Numbers that end in 00. High psychological number. 5 zeros as well. But usually your 00s are going to be the biggest one. I got a person on YouTube keeps writing messages and keeps retracting them. That makes me scared. Why do you keep retracting them? Have no shame in your question. Have no shame in your message. Do not retract. All right, so let's go down to the 4-hour chart. And you should be able to see the reason that I got involved. As price action came up into this previous level of structure, again, 3 very strong candles, right? Closes near the top of the range, right? Strong, strong, strong. And then what do we get with this bad boy right here? Again, the art of reading candlesticks. We have a doji candle, an indecision candle, a rejection candle. Price spikes up. The bulls are rallying. And then boom, they get rejected. Now, why do they get rejected? Who knows? Again, it could be new selling pressure. It could be buyers being like, I'm going to take my money and leave. It could be a combination of both. I don't really care. It's not our job to care. We will never know. All we can know is the story that happened. It did get rejected here. We then put in a little bit of retracement, and we came right back up on this candle to give us a retest of structure. And this is a pattern called a double top, right? We can add some more to that as well. If we look down at our RSI, I never have any idea where my tools are, my little arrows on here. We have RSI oversold on the initial test. We also have, again, putting you guys to work, anything you see here on the RSI as well, relative strength index. Originally, early on in my trading career, I thought it was called the reversal strategy indicator. That's why you don't trust the internet, right? The reversal strategy indicator. Good afternoon, TradingView. Yep, we've got divergence. We got a longer term divergence as well. So if we look at our previous high right here, and we look at our most recent high right here, which I already had a circle around. I don't know why I need to draw it in. Anyway, habit, right? We can see the market is making higher highs, obviously. However, on our indicator down here, we are making lower highs. So we got some longer term divergence there as well. So we have a double top, right? If we're thinking about this as a CTS trade, right? We're adding up. If you guys are brand new, the CTS is the combined technical scoring system. It is basically a way to quantify our trading. So imagine like we have a big checklist of requirements here. Each of these requirements have a specific point score. And all we're doing is we're going down the list. We're adding up the point score, and the point score tells us whether we should take the trade, whether we should not take the trade, whether we should take it with full position, half position, what have you, right? So we have a few things here. We've got structure, bang. We've got double top, bang. We've got RSI overbought, bang. We've got RSI divergence, bang. We've got even handled number. If that's in your CTS, again, it's customizable, so you can add it if you want, bang. We've got Fibonacci, bang. You're adding your point score, and you should get a pretty decent point score out of this. So this was a solid one for me. Again, I got involved in it this morning. I'm currently 1 pip in profit. Woohoo! I'm at 90. I'm at 90.10. 90.10 and some mini pips. That's where I got involved. So I'm like 1 pip in profit. Woohoo! Right? I've outbeat the spread. But a nice trading opportunity. Stops as always need to go above, or should, in my opinion, go above our highs here, right? So if you're entering at market right now, right around here, stop should be above the highs. Mine's at about 91.60. Targets, a couple things we can look at. For me, it was a retest of our previous structure right here. Again, I'm a very conservative target taker. Sorry, that line got rogue. I'll get to the questions on YouTube in a little bit. But I'm a very conservative target taker. So previous structure highs right here were my initial target. If you're someone that is a little bit more risky and you have, let's say, a larger outlook, what are a few more areas? I want you guys to kind of help me out here because I think that's the best way to learn. What are some other areas that you might use to, or that you might enjoy or fancy taking targets at, whether it's a more aggressive first target, maybe it's a secondary target. Anyone have any ideas here? Meanwhile, I'm going to catch up on the YouTube comments, and I got to remember catch the trading view comments as well. What about gold? Yeah. So if you're joining here for the live stream for the first time, what we do is we call this the trade of the day. So it's an inside look at the tier 1 trading, New York live trading room. So we only look at one pair or one chart for the live stream, and then we kick the live stream out and we continue our rest of our analysis in the live room. So unfortunately, we only get to look at one. Today it's going to be Aussie dollar. However, if you want to join the real live room, you can feel free. It's available with the 14-day trial membership, so it's risk-free. You can get in. You can spend a few hours with us. We have a London live room as well. Sorry about that. Got a spammer here. You can join the London live room as well with Jason Greystone, who does this at London time, does the same thing as well. So, but sorry. Yeah, this is live. Yes, live. It is. I don't know how I can prove that I'm live, but it is 7:45 my time, and a bird just flew outside. All right, I'll get to some levels a little bit later. Let me catch up on some of these YouTube comments real quick. Your red list of pairs on TradingView, what does it mean? None of my these over here. Oh, these are just stuff if I put notes on stuff I want to pay attention to. That's what these little things are. So I did all my pre-market analysis this morning on NinjaTrader. But sometimes I'll do it on TradingView and I'll say, hey, euro dollar, I want to pay attention to it. That, like that. So just like kind of personal markings on what I want to watch in case I don't feel like loading up my actual watch list. So nothing special about them. I actually didn't do them today. So these are all from yesterday. They had them on there. Yeah, see, that's a really good question. Yep. I used to do this too. I mean, again, I don't trade off of TradingView, but you can also say if you're in a short position, if you're in a long position, green, if something is high on your watch list, right? So you can customize them however you want. It's a very useful tool if you're someone that gets easily distracted like me. Color coding, stuff like that. I just got, sorry, on TradingView going back, I just got a market cipher, so I'm a little confused to what I'm seeing. Okay. Well, I would say this, if you're a little bit confused, how do you know I'm confused with that question real quick. Okay. I'm going to save that until we're done this analysis real quick, and we'll come back to that. But I would ask you this question. I'd love to hear an answer. Do you know how to identify a cipher first and foremost? Because if you do, there shouldn't be confusion with what you're saying, or are you still working on the identification? So let me know that, and we can dig into it after we're done this analysis. Speaking of that, I got a question this morning too from a trader who was saying, Akil, I think he was looking at either ciphers or Gartley's, some pattern. And he was saying, Akil, I'm having trouble finding ciphers in the market. I've been through like 10 years of the euro dollar and I've only found a couple. And then the next comment was, I don't actually know the rules for a cipher. So we have to make sure that we do things in order, right? And I don't mean to poo-poo anyone, so I don't mean to make fun, because I've done all the weird stuff in my trading career, but we got to use common sense sometimes, right? If we don't know what we're looking for, how can we look for it, right? If we don't know what we're looking for, how can we look for it? This goes back to, we spoke yesterday about teaching things and the right steps, right? So in order to have a cipher, right, we need to have fibs, right? We need to know how to draw in Fibonacci's, because the cipher and any harmonic pattern, they have very specific Fibonacci requirements. That's what makes the pattern, right? Okay, so if we want to identify this cipher, I need to learn fibs, okay? So now the next question is going backwards. All right, well, if I don't know how to, and we'll kind of draw some lines out here where I need fibs, right? All right, so if I need to learn how to draw fibs, well, I can't draw fibs until I learn how to read legs, right? Retracements and extensions. Because if I don't know how to identify an anchor leg or an impulse leg, how do I know where to draw the fib from? And we don't know how to draw anchor legs or impulse legs unless we know how to read a price chart, right? So we have to work things in order. We have to know how to read price first and foremost. That way we can identify the correct legs. That way we can draw on and identify the correct fibs. That way we can eventually find our pattern. The problem is that many people just want to step to this part. We just want to step to finding the pattern without knowing any of the other rules. And if you think about it, is it possible to do it? No, right? It's not possible. So we have to take our time and do things the right way. And that's a common comment I see is I'm having trouble identifying patterns. I can't find any. And I'm like, do you know the rules of the patterns? Well, not really. Well, another part is you have to train your RAS, right? You can't expect to just learn the rules for something and then be able to identify it right away, right? You have to spend lots of hours on the chart training your eyes. Training your eyes. We haven't done this in a while, but I want everyone to kind of where you're at right now. I want you to slowly take a look around your room, and I want you to pick out as many things as you can that is the color blue. All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds. I'll give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, you guys done? Did you find stuff that's blue? All right. Now I want you to type something into the chat that was yellow. Difficult, right? Without looking around again. Why? because your mind and your eyes were focused on blue. You weren't focused on yellow, right? Your eyes weren't, in that brief kind of example, your eyes weren't trained to pick out things that were yellow. You were trained to pick out things that were blue. So those blue things popped out right to you. The yellow things, you ignored them because they weren't relevant. So it's the same thing with the markets, right? If we know what to look for, or once we know what to look for, we have to train our eyes to be able to see it. Once we train our eyes to be able to see it, they'll pop out to us. Boom, 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 right? But if we're not trained to see it, they're going to be right in front of our face and we're going to miss it simply because we haven't trained our eyes. We have to train ourselves and give ourselves time to practice and develop that skill, that reticular activating system where we can identify stuff. And it takes time. It takes time. But that's another one of the benefits of back testing, right? As you're doing back testing and training, as you're doing rep in the market, you're getting thousands and thousands of opportunities to see things in different ways. All right, let's finish up this analysis and I can go back to some of the other questions. Some other levels that you guys are looking for. Orsi says 8970s. Let's kind of draw some lines here. 8970s. So right here at a previous structure, the low part of this. I like that level, Orsi. Look left, you can see we hit a few times. Bobby, 8970s. Nice fib confluence at my level, Bobby says. Thank you. Yeah, another thing would be, speaking of it, would be a cipher. Right? If you're someone that has a long-term belief that this thing is going to roll down, my analysis doesn't necessarily say it's going to roll down this far. But if we take a look at this, we have a cipher pattern right in front of us. Again, how many of you guys saw this? If your RAS wasn't trained, you probably didn't. But X to A to B, B to C, this is a potential bullish cipher pattern as well. So if you're someone that, again, believes that price is going to travel this low, which I don't necessarily think, you can look to take this, trade it to the cipher, and then stop and reverse back up. Now, one more thing we can do if we're looking more lower time frame. I don't want to make this live stream too long here. But if you want to look at this as a day trading opportunity, then I'll go back to the trading view question and dig more into that. If you want to look at this as more of a day trading opportunity, I got a sticky chart here today. Sorry guys, I got a lot of things running at the same time. AUD, Let's go down to the 8 range. There's also a day trading opportunity here if we can break that structure level, right? So if we can get past this structure level right here, we're going to look for, not right there. Where is it at? Here it goes. So here's our VS1 right here. If we can break past this structure level right here, which is the peak, or not the peak, well, what's it called? The valley? We never had a name for this. We're going to call this the valley of our double top. If we can break past this level, it doesn't look like a double top here because it's on a range bar chart, but trust me, it is. But if we can violate this level, then there's a day trading opportunity from here to here, which again, isn't a lot. We're looking at 90-60s to about 90-40s, maybe about 20 pips or so, depending on how far we retrace back, right? That's not a great amount for a day trade, but 20 pips on a day trade is definitely doable. But if you're shooting for that lower level, like Orti and Bobby mentioned, right, that's where you can make kind of the big bucks, right? So if you take a single target off at this level, hold on to a secondary target down to this lower VS1, that could be a decent day trading opportunity for you guys. Now let's go back to the trading view question real quick. Nope, sorry, wrong screen. There we go. The trading view question said, okay, so you think it's going to drop? We shall see about that. You have a 50-50 chance of being right. Yeah. Well, yes and no. Well, technically, when you trade something with whatever you have in your trading plan should have a specific probability. Sometimes it could be 50%. Sometimes it could be less. It could be a 40% chance of being right. What we're looking for is not just random trades, right? In general, if we were to buy or sell, who knows what the market can do? We have a 50-50 chance of going up or a 50-50 chance of going down. We have no control over it. What we're looking for as traders is where well done, Cody. What we're looking for as traders is we don't care about this individual trade. So it's important to understand that this individual trade means absolutely nothing. I have no idea what the outcome of this individual trade will be, right? what we're looking for as traders is we're looking to trade something with an edge, and assuming our trading strategy should have an edge, that gives us an edge over time. So over hundreds of trades, right? We should have an edge. Now the edge can come in a few ways. An edge can be one, maybe I win more than I lose. So maybe that this specific setup, maybe the win percentage on this specific setup is 60 and the loss percentage is 40. So if I take 100 trades, I should win 60 times and lose 40 times, right? That should give me an edge. Another edge is going to be risk reward, right? I can have a 40% win percentage here, but if my risk reward is, let's say, 2-1, I'm going to be in a very profitable setup. I want to show you a chart real quick. And we share it every, we just did a workshop, 2 weeks ago? By the way, today's the last day that the workshop recordings are available. So it's 10 plus hours. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, do it already. But I want to show you something real quick if I can ever find where it's at. That's not the right folder. There we go. Tier 1 trading infographics. Where's my favorite chart here? Risk reward, risk reward, risk reward. There we go. So I want you to take a look at this real quick. This is the balance between risk reward and win percentage, right? So if I'm someone that has an average of a 3-1 risk reward, I can win 33% of the time. And guess what? Will I still be profitable? Yes. So for that type of trader, a 50-50 proposition, lovely. That's more than they expected. Vice versa. If I'm a 66% trader or a 70% trader, I can get away with having an inverse risk reward and still be profitable. So trading is a business. Trading is about putting together the probabilities, and the probabilities is a combination of your expectancy and your risk management. So a lot of people will say, hey, this has a 50-50 chance of going up or going down, right? Where some people will be like, oh my gosh, that's a gamble. To a professional trader, is that a gamble? If you know your win percentage and you know your risk reward, no, it's not a gamble. You're playing the odds. You're playing the probabilities. And that confidence is what allows us to consistently execute our trade instead of having the gambler's approach where I do it sometimes, I do it another time, I don't know what I'm doing, I take stops too late, I move stops too early, I take targets too early, I move targets back, right? All the funky stuff. We avoid that because we're set in what we're doing. We're confident in what we're doing. It's all part of a bigger business plan and not just a gamble. It could just be consolidating, then continue to move up support. Yes, it certainly could. Yep. But here's the thing, right? We can say that for any trading opportunity, right? Like these are the things that we tell ourselves to scare ourselves out of trades, or the things that we or the things that we tell ourselves to get ourselves in the trade, right? If we were to look at any trading opportunity in the market, can't we say like, hey, this thing might go up? Yeah. Can't we say, hey, this thing might go down? Yeah. Okay, what now? If that's the mindset you're going to have, you're never going to trade. You're going to scare yourself out of taking any position because it might go the opposite way, or you're going to convince yourself to get into any position because it might go your way. That is not trading like a professional, is it? And I'm not taking shots at you, but this is a very good teaching experience because this is the mindset that many traders have. And this mindset comes from not doing your work. Do you know why I'm confident in this setup? Do you know why I'm not bothered by the fact that, oh, it might go up, it might go against me? Because I've spent hours and hours and hours testing. I've gone through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of trades testing. I've got data that shows me exactly what my probabilities and my percentages are. And I don't care about the individual outcome of any trade. Because if I'm going to be broken, or if I'm going to become wealthy off of a single trade, then I'm like that guy we spoke about yesterday who's risking 23% per trade. I'm not doing things right. The fact of the matter is that this individual trade means absolutely nothing. It is just a small part of a bigger piece. And my job as a trader isn't to pick winners and losers. I know that sounds weird. You don't hear that. It's to consistently execute my plan. Like any business. Any business has a plan. Your job is to consistently execute it. And if you consistently execute your plan, you'll get the numbers that your plan deserves. But we can't sabotage ourselves. But yeah, it could be consolidating. Yeah, it could break out. I don't know what's going to happen. Trust me, if I knew it was going to happen, I'd unload the bank. The indicator is it's called our VS1 indicator, the green and red boxes that I threw up. I don't know where that chart went. Yeah, so that's available. Well, I spoke about the trial membership earlier. You can get it as part of the trial membership. But yeah, that's an indicator we have over at tier 1, visual support and resistance. OG, do you know what the 1 stands for? I don't know why the 1 is there in VS1. I know it's visual structure. I don't know what the 1. I don't know. Real quick, there's a few more questions, and we'll get you guys out of here. That's the 4-hour time frame. I'm so used to looking at the 15-minute. I assume that's what you were using. Well, I've gotten liquidated a few times, so I'm trying to learn now. Yeah, it starts with 1, having the right mindset about trading, which you're here and you're asking questions, so I know you're open about that. 1, having the right mindset. 2, going about the process the right way. Those are the 2 things. 1, we have to fix the mindset. If we don't fix the mindset first and foremost, we're never going to follow through with the process. So we have to fix the mindset. And sometimes that means if you've been struggling, hey, I'm going to erase, Control, Alt, Delete everything from my brain that I thought I knew. And I'm going to restart. And I'm going to go about learning things the right way, starting with the process, starting with the expectations. And then I'm going to build from there. I'm thinking the Fed will have bad news today and price will drop. Okay. Do we ever want to act off of thinking? Why do you think that? Is that an actual, are there any technical or fundamental facts behind that? Or is that just emotional? What does that sound like, guys? When you see the comment, I'm thinking the Fed will have bad news today, so the price will drop. Is that a reason to take the trade? Hell no. Hell no. Now, if you're saying, hey, I don't enter, right? I don't enter Aussie Canada on days of high impact news events. That's a different story because that's a rules-based action. If you're saying, well, I've done fundamental research and my research has shown me that blah, 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 then that's a reason you can use. Or if you have a technical reason, hey, we had a lower low, lower close, so I don't think we're going to blah, 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 blah. Those are reasons. Thinking is not a reason. That is an emotional decision. That is fear. I'm thinking there's going to be bad news today, so yeah, right? We don't make decisions off of emotions. We make them off the rules of our trading plans. I can't tell you how many trades I've entered where I didn't want to enter. Live rumors. You ever been in a trade that you didn't want to get involved in? Where it meets your rules and you're like, oh, stupid. Right? All the time. I've been in so many trades where it's like, man, I don't know about this one, but all the rules are met. Boom. You got to take it. That's our job. Consistently execute the plan. Consistently execute the plan. By the way, if you guys are watching on live stream, great session, good questions. Give this thing a like. If you're watching in kind of review, give me a comment or if you have any questions. I need to stop looking at this thing. I need to get it off my screen. I don't like looking at trades that are in progress. It bothers me. It's like, again, it's like watching the U.S. in stoppage time yesterday. So we're gonna close down quick. Zach, we'll get to your question. Dollar yen, daily nice zone. Yeah, we'll get to that question real quick. Let me just answer the rest of these questions, and we'll get the streamers out of here. Thanks for the questions, streamers. We got looking on correlated trade on dollar Canada. Not correlated, but I won't get on a whole thing about correlation. But in my opinion, what's happening on one chart, or let me ask you guys this. Should what's happening on one chart ever affect your decision-making on another chart? In Forex. I'll be very specific with that. I really need a trading signal, bro. No, you need to learn how to trade. You don't need a trading signal. Why would you ever rely on someone else for your success when you can do it yourself? And if you don't want to do it yourself, find a financial advisor and invest it in an index or something. What do you need a trading signal for? There's so many bad things about that. Not that I'm poo-pooing signal services, but I don't ever want to rely on someone else for my success, especially when that someone else can one day just quit and say, "Hey, I'm tired of this. I'm done." Because then you're SOL. But yeah, I wouldn't, if we're going to look at dollar Canada, I wouldn't even worry about the Aussie Canada. Look at the dollar Canada as its individual match. It's an individual battle. So I wouldn't let whatever's happening here, this should have zero effect on your dollar Canada analysis. Chris says it's called the VS1 because it's the best. Maybe that's it. It is pretty good. All right. Feeling equals emotion, therefore no trade. All right. Live streamers, I'm going to get you guys out of here. Thank you for joining again. Do me a favor, hit that like button on the way out. Remember, today is the last day that those Truth About Trading workshop recordings are up. There's 10 plus hours of footage, so if you don't get started right away, you're going to miss them. And I don't want to hear any complaints about it because I've given you warning shamelessly every single day. Just head over to www.tier1trading.com and check it out. Live rumors. We got a few minutes before our ADP number comes out. Let's head over to, what is it? Dollar